Hello everyone, welcome to Wild Writing in the Time of Corona, a poetry workshop that I set up 105 days ago so that each day, with the minimum requirements of a little bit of time and pen and paper and a little bit of input from me, by taking part in the workshop you could write a poem and you could learn about different sorts of poetry and different sorts of language techniques. So day 105, being the 7th day, or 7 dividing into it, is different. And today I'm going to offer something that I think is probably pretty akin to a guided meditation. And so what you need to do is, the first thing you need to do for today's workshop is to find an object, any object in your house. So I'm going to suggest that unusually you pause the video now and you go and find the object. So if you pause it now and go and find the object. Okay, so you have your object in front of you, and what I'd like you to do is to really concentrate on nothing more than the object. So you have it in front of you. Maybe you have it on a table, maybe you have it on the arm of a chair, wherever you have it. You also need with you pen and paper, or however you write. Maybe it's a laptop, maybe it's your phone. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to write down the words that come into your head as you look at it. Try really hard to block everything else out, so you're just looking at the object. Don't touch it at the moment, just look at it. So it might be words to do with colour, it might be words to do with texture, it might be words to do with shape. It might be, you might feel inclined to write down what it is, and that's fine. You might say I don't know, who gave it to you or whatever, that's fine as well. So what I'd like you to do now is to try and write some words that are a little bit more sensual, a little bit more kinesthetic. So words to do with the touch of the object, the feel of the object, what it feels like as your hand touches it, maybe what you feel like as you look at it. So we're trying to stretch our vocabulary a little bit there to try and give the reader, ultimately the reader, a sense of the feeling that it engenders in you. What I'd like you now to do is to turn your object, if you can, to move it. It might be that you can open it, it might be you can turn it upside down, and I would like you to really feel the texture of it, the design of it, the making of it. So you're giving it a fairly close examination, but this time you're examining it with your hands. And from that examination, this turning it and moving it and looking at it from other aspects, can you write down some more words? Some more words should come to you. And if in the privacy of your own home you find yourself in a position to have a conversation with it, do that. That's absolutely fine. I did that. So I say, what happens if I turn you over? Okay. Can you now try and answer the question, where has this object been? It might have always been with you, but if it hasn't, where has it been? Think about where it's come from as well and write those down. Okay, so you should now have in front of you a scatter diagram of lots of different words, and all of those words are focused on this one object. And what I would like you to do now is to look at those and to shape a poem from them. You might find yourself using quite a lot. You might find yourself just using a few, and you might find yourself going in a very different direction. This week in the workshops we've been doing quite a lot in terms of personification, so you might very well want to personify the object, and that's absolutely fine, to give it a voice. So that's going to be your poem today about the object. The other thing I would like you to do is to, either at the beginning or at the end, or if you choose somewhere strategic in the middle of the poem, to put one line on its own, so spaced away from the other lines, on its own, one line that contains a metaphor, some kind of strong metaphor. So seeing the object as something else. Okay? So it's quite a lot to juggle today, and I hope you get on well with it. Instead of pausing at this point, I'm going to go straight into what I I wrote today, just to give you, if you like, a model for it, if that would be helpful. So I chose an object, and the object I chose was a piece of crockery. I'll show you it. It's just a little piece like this, and I've actually painted it. So and I'll just show you. So it has quite thin edges, and I'll show you perhaps a little bit more closely that it has it's blue and white, and also if I hold it like that, you can see it has an unusual shape. Okay, so that's what I chose to focus on. Excuse me. And this is the poem that came. Holding you in my hand, sharp edges where you shattered are gone. Sitting quite neatly between my tendons, my fingers rest on your long baked clay. Adjusting to my body heat, you're no longer cold. I feel the curve of your lip, an edge of plate glazed light blue. Whose food sat on you before you were tossed aside? Whose hands washed you? Who painted your blue roses? I picked you up in the broad bean field where lumps of coal rise like flotsam in the soil. Think you're from a miner's cottage. Best china, parlour tea on Sunday. Earth from your grave has stained your sides, and I have resurrected you into colour and light again. From a lost hand to a living one, an envoy, a love letter. Okay, so that's my poem, and as you probably heard, that last line with the metaphor was at the very end. I hope you enjoy doing our very different workshop today, and I think it is an opportunity to just spend a little bit of time looking at something, and the longer you look, can I suggest, the more you'll find. So you take care and have a very good day, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow and to reading what you write. And please, if you can, put a picture of it as well. Okay, bye-bye for now.